Kelly from LOCH BRIAR Knits coming to you on a sunny July 7th. It's Saturday and I'm coming to you from Nova Scotia, Canada. So this is actually the first decent day we've had all week. It's been sunny except for yesterday, but it's been stinking hot. Like we've had a major heat wave, humidex of like 40 and over. It's just been blah. It's been disgusting. So we had really heavy rains yesterday in the late afternoon, evening, and now we have nice clear skies, fresh air, no humidity. It's awesome. Now it feels like summer to me. So welcome everybody. Welcome returning viewers. Thank you so much for coming back, and all you new viewers, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. This is episode 35. Episode 35, yes. So, oh, sorry, we've got you might hear a little clipping. We have the canine just wandered in and wandered out. So, administration. I don't think we have too much administration going on today. Just where you can find me. I'll kind of pop it down along here. But Instagram, I'm most active, and you can find me there at Kelly L. Boyce. And there is a Facebook page and a Ravelry group and my Etsy page, Etsy shop where I sell my hand-dyed yarns. And those are all under LOCH BRIAR Knits, and my username on Ravelry is LOCH BRIAR. And I think that's it. Oh, and if you want to email me about anything, you can find me at kellylboyce@gmail.com. And I think that's everything. That's it for admin today, people. It's pretty admin light, which is how I like it, because this is usually the part I screw up the most. So, what am I drinking? I'm drinking my Stash organic lavender tea today. And it's still kind of hot. It's really good. I love that tea. Not as much as my lemon thriller, but it's probably my third favorite. So, let's just address the elephant in the room. For any of you who have seen my Instagram page, you'll probably know that I had a bit of a kayaking incident a week ago, last weekend, actually on Canada Day. No alcohol was involved. Sadly, it's not that interesting a story. I was getting out of the kayak and going onto the dock, and I was pushing myself up with my hands in the dock, and my father-in-law was holding the boat next to the dock because it was only our second time having the kayaks out. And we really should have had like a tie to tie it onto the little anchor on the dock, but we didn't have that on yet. So he was just holding the kayak so it didn't float away when I get out of it. But he shifted position, and when he shifted position, he kind of moved towards me as I was pushing up, and I think it just startled me a bit, so I tried to adjust my position, and my feet, which were in the kayak, slipped on some water, and I slammed this part of my arm down hard onto the dock. So, short story long, what happened was when I went to drain the water out of the kayak, you just sort of lift it up. I noticed that this shoulder was really sore, which isn't super unusual because I have had rotator cuff problems in the past, but this was like really sore, and I thought, oh, I must have just tweaked it. And I thought, oh, it's just from the sudden impact, it'll go away. So we went on and we got out, and I was just like, it's really sore. And then as we were eating supper, I realized, okay, I can't even like cut my food. But I didn't want to say anything because I was worried my father-in-law might feel bad, like he was responsible, which he wasn't. It was just like one of those fluke convergences, and I'm generally a bit of a klutz anyway. So, As much as I'd love to blame somebody else for this, I can't. So anyway, by about 4 o'clock in the morning, I realized I think I've really done something to my shoulder. So by 5 o'clock, I woke my husband up and I said, I think we need to go to Emerge. And in my head, I'm thinking, if we have to go to Emerge, probably about 6 o'clock in the morning might be a good time to go, because the madness of the Canada Day through the night incidences are hopefully cleared up. And most people are hopefully in bed, so there's not going to be a whole lot of emergencies. This is my thinking. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever. So I said, you know, I think we really need to go, and why don't we go now before it gets too busy down there? So we slept to Emerge, and it was not crowded. There was like one other person in there. So, and then there's a few that kind of came after us, but we had gotten in before them. So we literally were in and out of Emerge in 2.5 hours. They took a bunch of x-rays of my arm and my shoulder, and there was nothing broken, but based on the fact that I couldn't move my arm, they thought I may have torn my rotator cuff, which I was really hoping he was wrong. Anyway, so they put me in a sling, so I was in a sling for the whole week, which was really disgusting because the material was really thick and we had the heat wave going on. I felt like I was wearing a wool blanket. It was disgusting. So Thursday went to my ortho surgeon appointment, and he was looking at the x-rays, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, I think I've torn my rotator cuff or have a tear in it. And he was showing me the x-rays, and he said, but you've had rotator cuff problems. He said, you've got like rotator cuff disease, I think he called it. He said, you've got calcification here, and you got some spurs up here. And I was looking at it going, damn. He goes, and now you just thought you'd exacerbate it by doing something else. So I have to go get an MRI, but we have to drive about, if we wait to get one in the city, it's going to be over a year. The wait times are ridiculous. But I can drive 2 hours to Antigonish, and I only have to wait probably about 2 months, 2 to 3 months for an appointment. So that's what we're going to do. They're going to make me an appointment down there. And in the meantime, I'm not allowed to do any heavy lifting with this arm for at least 6 to 8 weeks. He thinks that in 6 to 8 weeks I should have some more mobility and strength back in the arm, which I've already started. Like I'll show you, when I first got down, I couldn't move my arm more than that or like that. And now I can kind of go like this, and I can go to there. So it doesn't look like a lot, but it's better than what it was. So anyway, this is really turning into a long intro. I haven't been able to, I couldn't knit all week until, was it yesterday was the first day I knitted? So I couldn't knit, I couldn't write. I have to start physio next week. I'm also, my chiropractor is doing cold laser therapy on it as well, which I think is helping. And then I rock taped it for the instructions for the rotator cuff to see if that can help. So I've got this lovely little, you know, it goes well with my shirt, totally clashes. But if it helps, it's not as painful as it was right now, so long as it's sort of like, it aches a little, but it doesn't, the sharp pain only happens if I try to move my shoulder past where it wants to go. So I'm trying not to do that. So yeah, so that's the story of the lovely rock tape ensemble. And so that being said, all of my plans for knitting since last episode got a little bit of kiboshed because the first week after episode 34, work and just everything was like super busy, and I hardly had any time at all to knit. So I didn't really get any knitting done at all this week until a couple days ago. My plans for dyeing yarn for the shop sort of happened. I was trying a couple of new techniques. So I have 2 colorways that I did up. I really love how they turned out. And then the next day I injured myself. So whenever I'm trying a new technique, I'll usually just do 3 skeins on my 3 most popular bases, which are the classic 75-25, the BFL, Blueface Leicester. Anyway, BFL, 80-20, and the Gush base, which is my merino cashmere nylon. So I have 1 colorway on those 3 bases, like 1 skein each, and then same with the other new colorway I did. So it's going to be like super small. And I can't do any right now because the way that you need to like lift the yarn out of the things, I can't do. I can't hold the yarn here and then try to run my hand down and dry it. And I can't like switch hands because I can't get this one up high. It's just like, it's a whole thing. And there's too much lifting. So I don't know when I'm going to get the next update done. I'm hoping the physio and the cold laser therapy will allow this to heal a little quicker. And then when I get the MRI, I'm really hoping it shows that the tear has healed itself to the point where I don't need to get surgery. Because if I need to get rotator cuff surgery, I'm probably going to be out for months. And that, I will lose my mind. I couldn't write, I couldn't knit. I did catch up on some reading. So, anyway. That's been my 2 weeks. It's been fun. So, anyway, let's get down to business because I did get some knitting done. So, we're going to jump into the Tegna sweater, which I've been working on. So, last episode of the podcast, I was, as I said, waxing poetic about the Knit 4 Together. And a few lovely viewers, and thank you to all of you if you're watching, told me that there was actually an easy way to do that. So I looked it up on YouTube, and sure enough, there was an easier way to do it than try to jam all 4 on the needle at once. And I don't know why I did not think to look up before and see if there was an easier way to do it. I don't know. Anyway, so this is the Tegna sweater for anybody who isn't familiar with it, although I think everybody and their dog is knitting one right now. Which is funny because usually I jump in the bandwagon well after it's left the barn. But this one I seem to be, I think it was because it was summer and I wanted a nice light summer sweater, and I don't even know if I'm going to be done it before summer, but whatever. So I am, I'm just going to set that down there. I mean, I haven't made a lot of progress because that kind of came to a screeching halt when I decided to mess up my shoulder. I'm trying to pull this out without knocking any stitches off. Okay, here we go. So, now when I show you these things, I think I'm actually going to have to stand up. Which might look a little awkward because I can't lift with that arm. So, here's what we're going to do. Do it this way. I'll show it to you, and then I'll sit down and talk about it. So, here's where I am, and yeah, I'm really not that much further. There we go. So, you can kind of see I'm really not a whole lot further along. I think I might have been maybe around here the last time. So, I've only, yeah. But, oops. I am hoping, I haven't actually run into any row yet that needs the knit 4 together. They're coming up. I've circled them. But so I'm not as freaked out by them anymore. So this is all I have. So I probably have like this. I think the lace is probably going to go about that much more. And then it's just stocking knit, really. Stocking stitch, stocking stitch, stocking knit stitch, stocking knit. I don't know why I can't remember what that is. Maybe I bumped my head as well. So there's really not a whole lot. I really have to pay attention with this lace. I find that if I don't, I make mistakes, and then I have to tink back. And I'm really bad at tinking back over if you've done like increases and decreases. I find I often drop stitches when I have to do that, so I try to avoid it if I can. I'm like, sorry, I'm sitting. It's in my spot. Okay, this is in my Longview Creations. I call it my lemonade bag. I just love it. It looks like the slices of, you know, like fruit slices that you'd put in a summer drink. Oops. And the yarn, I love this yarn. Like, I love this yarn. It's the Illimani in their Sabri, which is organic cotton and alpaca. So this is 85% organic cotton, 15% baby alpaca, and there's 437 yards. And this is sort of like a gray and white marled look to it, but it's very mild. Actually, I don't even know if, yeah, like it's so mild that it looks mostly like a pale gray. But there are variations in the gray enough that, to me, it looks marled. I don't know if it is. I don't know if that's intentional. Maybe my eyes are going too. Did I hit my head? I don't know. But I think, like, here's my caked upfall. Might show up better there. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it is just gray. It looks marled to me. Anyway, neither here nor there. But I am really loving this yarn, and I have some more in a different color, which I'm going to make which sweater out of. I forget which sweater I was going to make out of it. Anyway, we'll do that some other day once I get this one done. So I am going to try to get a little more of this done this weekend. I've got a little time to myself because the guys have gone out to the summer house. My father-in-law is still down, so we haven't gotten any weekend out there where we stayed the whole weekend kind of on our own. We thought he was only coming down for a couple weeks, but I think he's been here 3 weeks now, and he was going to leave on Friday, so we thought, oh great, it's going to be really, not like, hey, great, get out. But we thought it's going to be a nice weekend this weekend, so it would be nice, you know, a good time to go down and just have the place to ourselves for the weekend and relax. But then he said he wasn't leaving until Monday, so that went out the window. So I really don't know what we're doing this weekend. I know what I'm doing. I'm podcasting and knitting. I don't know what the boys are doing. So we haven't actually gotten a weekend down there to ourselves yet. And I think his dad invited my husband's brother and his family to come down for the first weekend, long weekend in August. And then we've booked it out, I think, from August 11th, that weekend, straight through to the end of the next weekend. The only thing is that you usually have to remind my father-in-law something 20 times to get to kind of stick in his brain. So we're a little concerned because we have my whole family coming down that first weekend for my sister and dad's birthday celebrations. And that's literally going to fill the entire house. Every bed, floor space, the kids and everything is going to be filled. And I just have these visions of him showing up and being like, oh, is that this weekend? Because that's kind of how it goes. So, but anyway, my plan was originally just to kind of take my knitting down there and just have a nice relaxing weekend. But, you know, so that's the Tegna sweater. There's really not a whole lot to write home about on that one. But I did, see, this is what I have to do with my arm. I actually have to direct it if I want it to go in a certain direction. Ugh, this is the wrong time of the year to do that. Although, you know what? It would probably be even worse in the wintertime, because then you'd have to try to fit like a heavy jacket around this when it's hard to get dressed just wearing something like this. And then if I slipped on ice or anything, yeah, no, it's probably better I did it in the summertime. It's annoying, but... So I did start my second sock. Oops, where am I here? There we go. And this is in my own Teal It Like It Is colorway. And it looks really kind of blown out here. The lighting down here is not that great right now. But I'm starting the heel flap. So this, I'm knitting these on my Knitter's Pride. What are they called? Dreams. Yeah. And I really, really like these needles, but they're a size larger than what I usually use. So I think these socks are going to be a little loose on me. I probably should have gone down to the 48 stitches. But so I've got the cuff and then the leg done, and I'm just starting the heel flap. So I should have those hopefully done by the next episode, because I have no hose or foes this episode. So that's it. And that's just like your straight up vanilla sock. I really love the pattern that this yarn is making. It's got like teal and chartreuse in it and some speckling. But it's just, you know, the 2x2 rib, standard vanilla sock. Heel flap and gusset is what I usually do. Sorry, I got to remember to look up here. So that's all that is, and that's in one of my loop sock bags, my small project bags from them with the ends on it. So that's about all we're doing for that. So that's the first one, which I think I showed on the last episode. Look how small the foot looks. It stretches though, obviously. I mean, I have small feet, but they're not that small. So speaking of knit socks, so I had for Christmas, sorry, get all that in there, given my mom, who my mom is the one who taught me how to knit. And then she had been knitting some, mostly these really thick scarves that are, I think it was a rib pattern, and it was like a project that we were doing for the homeless, and really like we took 3 strands of yarn, big needles, these things like knit up so fast, and so she was making a whole whack of them. How many did I make? I think I might have made like 4. I have 2 upstairs. I have to weave the ends in. But she was just going to town on those, and I think she made some scarves and hats using the same pattern for my couple of my nieces and nephews. And then for Christmas, I gave her some of my hand-dyed yarns, and I gave her a pair of really good needles, because the ones she was using were like the kind I think you usually get at Michael's. I think there's Susan Bates or something like that. And I wanted to show her how to do magic loop because she'd knit socks before, but she'd always used DPNs, and I thought like the magic loop is so awesome. So I thought I'll give her some of my sock yarn and then some of my hand knit yarn, and I think I gave her some stuff out of stash as well that I hadn't really been using. And I gave her the instructions on how to do the magic loop. So it took her a while to get it down because I think she was having a hard time wrapping her brain around having done DPNs, you know, her whole life for socks, and then switching it up and understanding the magic loop. Now that she's got it, she was over the other day because for some reason, all of a sudden she couldn't get the, when she went to turn for the heel, she couldn't get the stitch count to work. And we realized she was just literally looking over and picking up the stitches for, what was it, the 64 count instead of the 56 count. Yeah. And as soon as we started, we realized that's what she had done. She'd ripped that sock out like 17 times. Anyway, so she's like, yeah, I've got like all these like socks that I'm making for the kids, and I think she's doing it for Christmas. And then I'm like, oh crap, I created a monster because that was my thing for Christmas gifts for everybody. So I thought, well, maybe I'll make sock head hats for everybody. Doesn't she pull out the sock head hat pattern? And she's like, oh, and I'm going to make this too. And I'm like, crap, I don't know what I'm going to make her for everybody for Christmas because I was planning on knitting all my Christmas gifts. So I think me and Mom are going to have a sit down and figure out who's giving who what. Or everybody is getting nothing but socks for Christmas. Which for me is fine, but I'm pretty sure the kids might want something else. Whatever. Anyway, so I've created a monster. My mom is going like whole hog on the magic loop. And now I may be out Christmas presents. So, what else am I working on? Oh, right. So, this is another one of my loop bags. This is my newest one. I love it. So, here is my Phoebe sweater by Josee Pequin, and I'm saying her name wrong, but hang on. Yeah. This is currently a free pattern on Ravelry, and honestly, I cannot recommend this pattern enough. This is my second time knitting this, and I'm going with completely different color. Well, sorry, I'm not going with completely different colors. I'm going with two completely different main colors, and then I'm using the leftovers from my first sweater to do, or from my first Phoebe scarf to do the striping. So, since I was able to start knitting the other day, I picked this up because I found that it was easy to knit and keep my arm close to my body so I wasn't like moving my shoulder, and I could just do that without aggravating my shoulder. So I got the first main color down, and I set that down there. So this is kind of like an purple eggplant. I call it eggplant. The yarn is the Barocco, Cucu, which I say wrong every time, and I keep meaning to look it up, and I don't, I forget. But that's what it is. It is amazing. It is super soft. It's 80% something. Glasses. No, it's 60% extra fine merino wool, 20% baby alpaca, 20% yak. So it is like so incredibly soft. It's crazy. And I love knitting with it. It is a dream to knit with. I'd love to get like a sweater's quantity of this, but I've got enough sweater quantity of yarn that for different sweaters, I really need to not buy any more until I get more sweaters knit. Oops. So, sorry. So I've got the eggplant first color, main color down, and I'm starting the striping right now. So, I feel like the one-armed bandit here. Let's see if we can do it this way. There we go. So, we've got the purple done. Now I'm going to do like a light blue stripe. And then after I do that light blue stripe, I do the main color again, and then I do another stripe. So it's kind of like that. So I'm using the 6 contrasting colors and the 2 main colors. I'm not doing the same color scheme she has. So my contrasting colors are going to be the first one's the light blue, the second one is going to be the gold, and then the third one is going to be the teal. Look at all these loose threads coming here. Then the fourth one is going to be the light gray. It's going to be the light gray, which I have a little more of this too if I need it. And then the 5th color is going to be the red, which I think I feel here. It's going to be the red, and then the last contrasting color is the dark blue. Dark blue. So, and then once we get the first 3 colors in, which are the blue, the light blue, the gold, and the teal, then in this middle part here, you're going to stripe the 2 main colors. So my 2 main colors are the, oops. Da-da-da. Oh my god, I'm so discombobulated today. My 2 main colors are the purple and the sage green. So those are my 2 main colors. So then those 2 will sort of stripe here, and then the purple is done, and the green takes over, kind of where you can see all this light gray. That's going to be the sage green. And then the colors that will stripe with that will be the light gray, the red, and the dark blue. So I, like, honestly, and I have like another set of the Broco yarn in blues and a gray color to do almost like a fade using the same pattern, and kind of fade from light blue into dark blue into light blue into dark blue using the different shades. So that's that. That is my plans for that. And that is really the only knitting I got done in the last 2 weeks. And it's not really a whole lot. And most of it's been in the last 2 days. So this will probably be a short episode. I feel really scattered today. I didn't even do any notes because I wasn't sure until the other day if I was going to podcast or not, because I really didn't have anything to podcast with. I feel like so, what? I still have the same stuff that was in the queue before, like the Daydream sweater. Oh, I haven't touched my Maytham shawl at all. That's really kind of sitting on the back burner right now. I just lost steam on it. And I think it was because it had a lace section and the Tegna had the lace section, and I was kind of giving my concentration to the Tegna and not the Maytham shawl. But I'll probably pick that up in over the next couple of weeks and try to put a dent in it. I'm not doing, that was from Helen Stewart's Secret Shawl Society 3. And they've already started the second one, which I've decided not to do because I'm not even, like, I think I'm 25% through the first one. So, yeah. So I'm not going to do the second one. I am going to try to have the Maytham Shelf finished in time for when the third one comes out. I don't know if that's going to happen or not because I really want to finish the Tegna sweater. Really want to finish the Phoebe scarf. So I may actually just leave the Maytham shawl on the back burner for now. We'll see. And I don't even have it here. I don't know where it is. Oh, yes, I do. So yeah, literally. Oh, see, now I take it out. I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. I love the colors. Which is the front? Which is the back? I think this is the front. The front. So yeah, and this has not been without its mistakes, but you know, it's nothing too egregious that I can't get over. This is using lichen lace, and the new color here is Fleece Artist, and then this color here is lichen and lace in their Daylily. So see, now I take it out and I wanna knit on it. So I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Vacation's coming up I booked 2 Fridays off in July just so I could have a couple extra long weekends. So I'm hoping that maybe I can get some work on that. Maybe I will. I don't like leaving stuff languishing. So anyway, that was pretty much it. Stuff in the queue is the same stuff in the queue. I've got some sweaters I want to do. There's a Hohi Locatelli shawl that I want to do. There's the third Phoebe scarf that I want to do. But I think I've got to get jumping on my sock knitting. But I've really got to give my mom a call. I think they're out at their camp this weekend, probably. I got to give a call to her and figure out who's doing what so that we're not kind of like duplicating and giving people the same things. But I did do a little retail therapy because I was feeling sorry for myself because I couldn't knit. So I went out and I got another skein of the Good Vibrations yarn. And can you see the sparkle in this? It's so beautiful. Like the colors in this. Look at the colors in this. It's stunning. Like it's just, oh, it's so sparkly. And I'm usually not a huge kind of sparkly person, but I don't know. There's something about this one, and I did get another one. Is that it? I sort of went on a, there we go. I kind of went on a Good Vibrations bender because I couldn't decide what I wanted. So that was the other sparkly one I bought a few weeks ago, along with a non-sparkly one. And then also, oh no, that's Loghouse Cartage yarn. Okay, so these are my Good Vibrations. I love her yarns. Oh my god, they're so soft. And so yeah, I had to add to the stash. And I said I wasn't going to really I was going to try to curb that, but I was feeling bad for myself. And so I bought yarn. I'm not even going to apologize for that. It's been a rough week. Oh, I also bought, they had one color, one skein of yarn. This is the same one I'm doing my Tegna sweater out of, but it's a different colorway. This is just like a really nice, I don't know what color, it's like not, it's off-white, almost like a champagne color maybe. So I bought one skein of this, and I'm going to, I think, design a scarf out of it, and then either a scarf, yeah, I think I'll do a scarf. Yeah, I think I will. think I'll do a scarf out of this. And I may design it myself, or we'll see. And then give it to somebody for Christmas, possibly. Or myself. We'll see. I love this yarn though. Oh my god, I love this yarn. It's just so soft and lightweight. It's gorgeous. So that was my acquisitions. I did buy another pair of like little scissors to go in my bag. Oh, here and store the loop. So you can see it's got like a little, get it going the right way. It's got a little sheepy on it. These are like super sharp. Like they cut really well. I can't stand dull scissors. It's my pet peeve. It's one of my pet peeves. I have a lot. Oh my god, I'm so scattered today, people. So yeah, so that was pretty much it for acquisitions. Just those two, which is enough given the size of my stash. So that is about all we have for knitting. So I'll show you the two, and I'm going to preface this by saying I skeined these up, but with limited function in this arm. It's kind of a messy skein, I'm not going to lie. I don't even have a name for this one yet. This here is the little jute rope I use. What I do when I put it in the pot, I tie a loose jute rope to it, and the number of knots signify which type of yarn it's attached to. So this is my one knot is my 75/25 superwash merino nylon. So this is, let's see if I can get that. This is one of the colors I did. It's got some great summer colors in it, and I don't know what I'm going to call it, but for some reason Very Cordial keeps sticking in my head, so I don't know. So this has got some great, like I love the speckling in this. I'm just going to take it apart now that I've skeined it up. Da-da-da. Just give you a look at some of the speckling. So it's got like all these different speckles going through it in different colors, and some of the speckles sort of overlapped and created their own colors, which is really awesome. So yeah, so this is, I don't know, maybe I'll call it Summerberry Splash. I don't know why I'm putting it around my neck like it's, I don't know. Here we go. Yeah, I love the speckling that's going through this. And then there's a section here which is mostly kind of all that lovely berry color. I love it. So this, yeah, maybe we'll call it Summerberry Splash. So those, there's only 3 of these. There's one in the 75/25. There's Classic Sock. There's one in the BFL, which is 80/20. And then there's one in the cashmere, merino cashmere nylon. And again, because it was only, I was doing like a bit of a tester on a new technique, and then my shoulder went out. So this one is, I think, one of my absolute favorites that I've done. Let's see here. So this is Shut the Barn Door. So it's got kind of these browns and orange and red and yellow speckles. This is the 75/25 base. Thing here. So this is on the 75/25, and then this one is on the BFL. And I do have a cashmere merino nylon, but I didn't wrap it up yet because my shoulder was getting sore. So you can kind of see that's got some great speckling in it as well. So you can get a sense too of like the speckles going through it. So I love this one. So this one's called Shut the Barn Door. And there'll be, there's one of those in the Merino Cashmere Nylon, one in the BFL, which is this one, and then one on the Classic Sock. And I think this and the stained glass I did a couple, maybe a month and a half ago, maybe my new favorites. I absolutely love the colors in them. They turned out so beautifully. I was so pleased with them. I may have to steal one of each and keep it in my stash. So sorry. But there will be more of both of these coming to the shop once this kind of allows me to get back to dyeing. So that could be a few weeks. I'm not sure. So that is pretty much it for shop update. I'm hoping to get those photographed and in the shop probably this weekend. And you can find my shop here. It's at Loch BRIAR, www.lochbriarknits.etsy.com. So that is pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's really it. It is going to be short episodes. I'm really hoping, like, seriously, taking a week off knitting. Now I just want to knit all the things. But I feel this like really burning urge to finish projects. So I'm not gonna, other than socks, because once I finish one sock, I'll cast on the other, but I really want to get some projects completed. I want to get the Tegna scarf, the Tegna sweater done so I can actually wear it this summer. And I know once I get past the, what's that stuff called? Oh my God, the lace section, it's gonna motor. It's gonna go pretty fast. And it's not even long sleeves, it's short sleeves. So you don't even have to, like, you're not even gonna get stuck on Sleeve Island for very long. And that's about it. There is another project I have on the go. So I don't even have it on the go. It's got to be done. This is where I keep my, see this gun? There we go. So a long, long time ago, like, I mean, probably 25 years ago, there used to be, and I don't even know if it's still around or not, there used to be this travel company called Outward Bound, and they would take you on these different kind of adventures, and you could go, like, it could be whitewater rafting, it could be canoeing, it could be like hiking and some rock climbing, stuff like that. So I had wanted to go to Montana, and at the time I was writing a Western historical romance. So as I was kind of looking at the trip, I was sketching out a little Western handgun, which I've never actually seen one up close at that point in time. So anyway, for some reason, I just loved the little sketch, which I'm not a gun person. Like, you know, I live in Canada. So I don't know what it is about this little thing, other than I think it was the idea that I was going to try to save up and go on this hiking in Montana with a group of people that kind of all came together because they wanted to do the same thing. I was going to do it by myself, like I wasn't taking a friend with me or anything. I was just going to join the group and go. But it was really, really expensive, and I didn't have the money at the time, and I never really ever got to go on the my Montana hiking through the wilderness trip. So I've just always kept the little sketch I drew. And I think that's sort of a reminder that, you know, I'd still like to do something like that one day. I don't know if it's up my husband's alley. I don't know if that's something he'd want to do. He's not big with doing any sort of travel with groups. He likes it just to be the two of us, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do a solo trip without him. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I need to do is go through my needles and find a better way of organizing them. Like right now, you can't really tell because I shoved some stuff in front here because it's not organized right now. But I've got it in little sections, like 40-inch circs. That's my divider. And then kind of somewhere else through here, there's one for like the 32-inch, and then I've got one for 24 and one for 16. But I also have, because I bought some 12-inch and 9-inch ones. Yeah, so I did find some 12-inch ones. Are these all? Yeah, well, I found one 12-inch one apparently. So that is my 12-inch Chiagu to use for sleeves, and hopefully all my sweaters take 3.5 on the sleeves. And then I also, I got some 9-inch ones in different sizes, which circulars for sleeves. I'm going to try the 9-inch ones. I don't know if they'll work or not. Oh. But then I've got, I've got all of these. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch up and put them by size. So I did see, and I can't remember who did it, and they put it kind of in an accordion folder and just labeled the tabs depending on the size, and then do it that way, because I think that's going to be a little more organized. And I may have an empty accordion file already down there. And if not, I can go to the dollar store and get it for like a couple bucks. So anyway, that's one of my projects as well that I'd like to get done for the next podcast. And I think that's kind of it. That is pretty much it, people. I'll be back in regular form next episode. And I'm hoping I've got something done or some good progress made on things. I should have the sock done anyway. But so anyway, yes, I'm going to let you go. So thank you for all returning subscribers and viewers for coming back. And all you new viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for joining us. And if you liked it, the episode, please give a thumbs up. That helps get the word out and get us in front of some more people. And that is about it. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for showing up, and I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you guys next time. And until then, happy knitting. See ya.